Hi, welcome to Common Knowledge. I'm Rachel Zagaroli, and today we're going to be talking about healthy eating. And with us today is Dr. Dooley, who is a board-certified medical doctor and also the solo physician at Northville Novi Family Medicine. Dr. Dooley is on staff at Providence Hospital and is more than qualified to talk about today's program. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I also would like to introduce Tracy Ringel, who is our communications specialist for the city of Novi.
Hello.
Welcome to Tracy.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about healthy eating. Let's just get right into it. What are the benefits?
Oh, there's so many benefits of healthy eating. It can help you to live longer. It can help you to be healthier. It can prevent certain diseases like diabetes, heart disease, which causes heart attacks and strokes. There's even some evidence that certain diets with antioxidants can prevent certain cancers. So there's so many benefits of healthy eating, not only for seniors, but for everyone in general, to maintain your ideal body weight.
So if you eat these healthy foods and say like you have diabetes or you have high cholesterol or you have some of these things, will the healthy eating help that?
It can. It might not cure it or make it go away,
True.
But it can definitely help it. If you have diabetes, you're worried about your blood sugar. There are certain foods that they have something called a glycemic index. There are certain foods that are just better for you to eat, and there are certain foods that you want to avoid too much of that will tip your diabetes from being controlled to uncontrolled. If you're eating healthy and incorporating some exercise, you can lose some weight. And then some people, if you lose weight, your diabetes can go away, or your high blood pressure can be better without medication. So not all the time, but definitely can help these illnesses.
It's hard to eat healthy.
It is.
It's
yeah.
very hard. I find it very hard.
Yeah.
There are some foods that are healthy for our older adults. What would some of those foods be?
Well, you want to be concerned about dairy, your calcium and vitamin D. So you would need some calcium and vitamin D rich foods because you're concerned about your bones. So in order for your bones to be strong, you need calcium, you need vitamin D. As you get older, if your bones are not strong and you fall, you can break a hip, which could be fatal in a lot of cases. So you want to make sure you're getting your dairy products in. Additionally, you want to eat foods like olive oil, avocado. It's called the Mediterranean diet. That can give a lot of benefits to seniors. And you want to follow a low sodium or low salt diet, which is going to be healthy for you. And you want to do not so many of the sweet carbs. We need carbs. Carbs aren't,
Yep, that's a downfall.
Carbs aren't the enemy. We all need them. You just don't need to overdo them. Fiber is important for our seniors. A lot of times they have constipation, sometimes just because they're on medications that cause constipation. So you want to drink a lot of water, and you want to be active, and you want to eat fiber-rich foods, which can all help with constipation.
So generally, if you start that diet early in age, and you just continue to do that, you should be okay.
You should be okay. Sometimes we can't beat genetics, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And illnesses can still occur. But like something with diabetes, it's a whole different thing that we're worried about is if your diabetes is controlled versus if it's not controlled. So you might still have diabetes, but if you eat properly so that your diabetes is under control, where you're a lot less risk of losing limbs and kidneys. Yeah.
Tracy and I were just talking about loss of appetite.
Not a problem of mine, but
Or mine.
A lot of older adults have loss of appetite. Any ideas as to something they can eat to, is it smaller meals, or how do you get past that?
Well, seniors, sometimes they get fuller faster. So you might think mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, there's something wrong with them, but usually just one of the side effects of aging is they're feeling fuller faster. Additionally, if they are on medication, certain medications can make them have a loss of appetite or a loss of taste. So if the food doesn't taste good, I'm not going to want to eat it. Right. Additionally, we eat with our eyes first. What are you feeding them? What are you feeding yourself? Are you feeding yourself something bland and that you just got out of the microwave? Are you using fresh fruits and vegetables, which I encourage, with lots of different colors and textures and a little bit of not so salty spices? So you want to consider some medical causes like medications and illness, but you also want to consider what is it that you're eating.
So the medications can play a big role in that
Medications
too.
can. So you would want to talk to your doctor and bring all your medications and say, hey, is loss of appetite or loss of taste a side effect of any of these medications or weight loss?
You know, one thing I noticed what you mentioned was water. I know a lot of older adults don't necessarily drink the amount of water that they should.
They don't.
And there's things on the market now like the water flavors, and could coffee be a substitute? Is iced tea a partial substitute? What would you suggest for somebody who doesn't just want to drink a glass of water?
I wouldn't recommend caffeinated beverages because caffeine is a diuretic. It makes you urinate. So whatever you take in, you're probably going to urinate out. So you're not really getting
Right, so
the
it
benefits
doesn't
of the
stay.
fluids.
Sure.
So, but if it's not caffeinated and if it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, I highly encourage the use of those little squeezies to add to your water. You can put some lemon in your water. You can put some cucumber in your water, some
I
lime.
never thought about the cucumber.
Yeah. So there's other ways, as long as you're avoiding the caffeine and as long as you're avoiding the sugar, to still get some water in your diet. And sometimes seniors, they just do. They're not as thirsty as they should be, which is especially concerning when they get pneumonia or they get ill. You really need to stay extra hydrated when you're sick. And if you've just lost that overall drive to feel thirsty, that can be, lead to some devastating consequences to the kidneys.
I know drinking the water is one of my downfalls. It's just hard. They say the 8 glasses of water a day, and I know I don't do that. So, a lot of our older adults tend to eat out because they're so tired of cooking for one. What can they eat healthy at a restaurant?
Well, good news is some restaurants are being more mindful of that. So they're having the low calorie or the Weight Watchers menu, which is something that seniors can look into. If a potato is the side that goes with the meal, you can ask them, hey, what vegetables do you have that I can substitute that for? If they bring a basket of bread to your table, you can tell them, don't do that. Don't bring the bread basket to my table. I will eat the whole basket.
Yes.
So those are some of the things you can do. Look for fresh fish if they have that as an option. Go with baked or broiled, grilled as opposed to fried. And if there's an option of with skin or without skin, skip on the skin. Yeah.
Well, those are all good ideas. It's just whether or not we do those. We
Follow
have to
through.
start doing those now.
You do.
Because it's so easy to not adhere to the good advice that you're giving.
Yeah. Well, give yourself one cheat day.
That's a good idea.
I give myself a cheat day, and one day is not going to hurt you. But if all your days you're eating the carbs and the fried foods, that's not good for you. But
Or the chocolate.
The chocolate, yeah. Everybody deserves a cheat day, a dessert day. Yeah.
Well, the vending machine is right outside my office, so it's really a temptation.
That is true. That is true.
We were talking about some people are trying to gain weight or have extra calories.
Yep. Opposite problem as some of us, but like Rachel said, some of our older adults are looking to gain weight so that they're stronger, in case of an illness down the line.
Right.
What are some tips for those that are looking to gain weight?
If you're looking to gain weight, you really want to add some protein to your diet. Again, because you get fuller quicker, you want to slow down. You might need to eat, several times a day. As opposed to just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you might need a small snack every 4 hours. And a lot of times when I tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you want me to eat every 4 hours? Well, I didn't say a meal. I didn't say you have to sit down and have a starch and a vegetable and a meat and a glass of milk. It's just a granola bar, a handful of almonds, some pistachios. That counts as eating. It doesn't have to be a full meal. And your doctor might encourage you to do some type of Ensure or protein-rich shake, which will be really helpful for you.
Right, and I know that at Meadowbrook Activity Center, for our homebound meals and for our daily meals, a lot of people do order the Ensure, so
Yes.
that is available.
Kind of a way to get in some extra calories and some protein.
Right.
That's a good idea.
I do want to caution to get some certain protein bars. So depending on what your doctor's goal for you, if you're trying to gain weight, protein bars have a lot of grams of carbohydrates in it. So if you're not trying to gain weight and you're trying to get protein out of protein bars, I encourage people to just get the protein from the source of the protein. Get the protein from the yogurt and granola, the lean chicken breast, the eggs, as opposed to getting the protein from a bar that's really got a lot of hidden carbs in it.
I know a lot of people that say they don't like the yogurt and they don't like milk. What do you do then?
Well, you might need to talk to your doctor about supplementation.
Okay.
If you're a senior, do you already have osteoporosis, or are you at a high risk of having osteoporosis? If you are, there's several medications that can help. Because again, a simple fall in one of us might not do any harm to us.
But with
once
brittle
you get
bones,
older and your bones are brittle, a simple fall can lead to a surgery, and after that surgery, potentially a blood clot that goes to your lung and is potentially fatal. So if you don't like dairy or cheese or any of those products, you really need to talk to your doctor about supplementation.
And by supplementation, you mean like maybe it's an over-the-counter vitamin?
It might be an over-the-counter vitamin, or it might be, if you already have osteoporosis, it might be an osteoporosis-specific medication. And they have some that you only need to take 1 pill a week, and there's some that you only have to take 1 pill a month, which is kind of nice instead of adding a daily pill.
Sure.
A lot of our older adults have high blood pressure. Is there any special concerns with the foods that they eat?
It is. If you have high blood pressure, there should not be any salt in the home.
Salt. I love salt.
So much sodium in the foods that we eat in the United States of America already that you really don't need to add any extra salt. Ideally, we'd all have gardens and we'd be eating tons and tons of fresh fruits and vegetables that we haven't added any salt or preservatives to. That's just not the reality of the situation. So you can get salt substitute, and salt substitute tastes salty, but instead of sodium, it has potassium in it. And potassium is actually really good for your heart. So
well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. So it's right next to the salt, and it'll say salt substitute. Everybody asks me, well, where do you get that? Right next to the salt.
Right next to it.
Or you can use some of the Mrs. Dashes that are sodium free. But it is really, really important. There's something called the DASH diet, and you can get that information for free from the internet. If you Google DASH diet, don't pay for anything. It's like the NIH website. You'll get to a big PDF file that'll lay out how you should eat, and it really focuses on vegetables, fruits, avoiding extra salt. No salt shaker on the table, and sea salt is no better than salt. I've asked people.
We thought so for a long time at home.
People do use salt, and they say, no, I use sea salt. I'm like, oh my, all salt comes from the sea. So, yeah.
We were talking about most people being on a budget.
We were. And, buying fresh fruits, buying fish, buying some of the healthy things that we talked about today is a more expensive way to shop.
It is.
So any thoughts or hints to how to get that on a limited budget?
Definitely. Well, if you are on a limited budget, you can still buy in bulk, even if it's just 1 or 2 that you're cooking for, and then you can freeze the extra that you don't use, or you could share with a friend. You guys can buy bulk and split the cost, and you can cook a meal and share it with a neighbor or a friend.
Kind of social hour too.
Get
together and
great
cook
way
in the
to
kitchen.
socialize, right? And additionally, after you even cook the meals, you can freeze them. So you can cook up some meals and then you can freeze them and you can have them again for later. So bulk isn't only for large families. Anybody can buy in bulk and save some money. Additionally, if you're really concerned about your income, you might want to look into some of the services off Meals on Wheels.
Yes, we do have that.
Other ways to help supplement.
Last question. Where can we get more advice of eating healthy?
Well, there's a government website, choosemyplate.org, which gives you some great information. And St. John Providence, if you go to our website and look up nutrition services, you can find some information on some classes and nutritional services that the hospital offers.
That's good advice.
Great, thank you.
We'll make sure we advertise that too, so that everyone knows.
Excellent.
Put that in Engage and Enhance newsletters
On the website, so that's really good. So, well, I appreciate you coming in. Eating healthy is so important.
So important.
For our older adults, but for everyone.
Yes.
Too. So, and Tracy, thank you for being here too.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for Common Knowledge. I hope you listened to all this good advice and wrote some of it down. We will have this on our website so that you have some more information. So see you next time on Common Knowledge.